All right, class, we just finished our reading of The Great Gatsby, Chapter 7. And as we discussed earlier, it was quite intense. Jay and Daisy are in a tough spot right now as they were coming back from that heated exchange with Tom and Jordan and Nick in New York City. As they were coming back home, they hit Myrtle. And, we see the aftermath of that collision through the eyes of Nick. He's been our observer through this whole thing. And, we close at the end of this chapter with Gatsby still hoping and still waiting that Daisy will come to him. And she needs to make a decision right now, about what she's going to do. Because as Jay Gatsby revealed, she was the one who was driving the car. She was the one that murdered Myrtle. But it looks like she's not going to be taking the blame for it. But I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of decisions that Daisy and Jay can make right now that can change the outcome of the story. And today, I want you guys to practice making predictions and, evaluating the decisions that can be made here at this point of the story. So you all have a copy of your decision tree in front of you. Let's together read the directions, use the decision tree diagram to examine the possible outcomes of different decisions. You might consider different consequences of a character's possible choices, or you might consider how that would change the story to tell it from different points of view, provide arguments for and against each decision. So we'll do this one first together, and the next time that you see a decision tree in front of you, we'll be reading something else. But you guys will be more than capable of doing this on your own. But, since this is our first time doing one of these with a work of literature, let's go ahead and do this as a big group. So in the very top, go ahead and write the title of the story. The Great Gatsby. Okay? And remember, decision trees, this first level right here, as you can see, I'm making a dotted line here. Our first level here, this is where we're going to write our decisions. And I know we don't really have a lot of room here, so you'll have to practice writing really small, but you guys will be okay. This doesn't need to be done in complete sentences. You can use fragments, that's fine. But I want to hear from you. What is one decision that either Daisy or Jay can make at this point in the story that can really change the outcome? Very good. Daisy can very well run away with Gatsby right now. So go ahead and write that right here. Daisy can run away with Gatsby. All right. Okay, so before we go to our next decision, let's stick here. Let's examine this further. So Daisy can run away with Gatsby. What would be a consequence to that? What would be a direct result of Daisy's decision to go with Gatsby? Yeah, that is true. They can live happily together, right? Go ahead and write that down. They can live happily together. Oops. Together. All right. So from that consequence, what's a possible outcome to the story? How can the story change as a result of this decision that led to this consequence? Oh, yeah, you're right. Because remember, they're both wanted, aren't they? They were both in the death car. They were both seen fleeing from the scene where Myrtle was killed. And so that makes them both what? Yeah, they're fugitives. So go ahead in the outcome box. Go ahead and write Daisy and or, Gatsby will be wanted for Myrtle's death. How about that? Daisy and Gatsby will be wanted for Myrtle's, how do you spell Myrtle? Having a little bit of a brain fart here. Death. All right. All right, so we got our first one down. 4 more to go. See, it's that simple. And trust me, this is definitely going to help you with your next writing project. I'll talk about that soon. I want to get ahead of myself. I can't help it. All right, so does anyone have another decision that either Gatsby or Daisy can make at this point in the story? Yeah, Daisy could just leave them both, right? So right here under here, Daisy can leave Gatsby and Tom. All right, she could just be like, I'm done, I'm out. I'm gonna go do other things. So if that's our decision here, what would be a direct consequence to that? Anyone? That's right, she's not gonna have any money. Very good. Daisy will have no money. Very good. All right. And so if Daisy doesn't have enough money to support her lavish lifestyle, what would be an outcome to the story? How would the story change because of that? Yeah, she'll probably have to sleep on Jordan Baker's couch. So you can go ahead and write that here. Jordan Baker will take care of her. Awesome. You guys are doing great. We're almost halfway through. So give me another decision. I see that you're raising your hand over there. So what's another decision that Daisy can make right now? Yeah, she could stay with Tom. She could choose Tom. Write that right here. Okay, so if Daisy chooses Tom, what's going to be a consequence to that decision? Daisy stays rich but is unhappy. Very good. I'm not running out of room here. Like I said, it's okay if you have to write really small. I'll get my magnifying glass. I'll be able to read it just fine. So, Daisy can choose to stay with Tom. As a consequence, she is rich but unhappy. But in the story, what would that outcome be? How would the story change? Oh, wow, that's very dramatic. It is possible. Daisy could regret her decision and go back to Gatsby. Yeah, go ahead, write that down. If you guys can think of something better, by all means, go ahead and write it down. You don't have to be doing the examples we're doing here as a class. Remember, this is just a tool to kind of help us get our ideas written out on paper. Trust me, it's going to help us out in the writing process. So what did we agree on? Someday Daisy goes back to Gatsby confessing her love. Okay, yeah. Daisy regrets her choice and finds Gatsby. Right on. All right, so for our fourth decision, does anyone have an example that we can use together? Oh, ooh. Yeah, maybe Nick can do something. Maybe Nick can contact the police and tell them that it was Daisy that drove the death car. Okay, maybe he can do the right thing and promote justice and get the truth out there and hold Daisy accountable for what she did. Go ahead and write that right here. Nick tells on Daisy. We'll keep it short since we only have a little bit of room here. Okay, so Nick tells on Daisy. What would a consequence to that be? Very good. Daisy goes to jail. Awesome. Okay, so if she goes to jail, how's the story going to change? Haha, poor Tom, right? Tom loses both of love interests? Let's say that. All right. Very good. Very good. So that just leaves us to our last and final decision that we'll make here. And you know what? For this one, since we have all this room over here to the side, we can move our paper over a little bit, make it a little easier for us to write this way. That's fine. I don't care what direction you guys are writing, as long as you get it on paper. So what's going to be our final decision? What are we looking for here? I know some of you read ahead. All right, well, no more spoilers for the rest of this, okay? So, yeah, it looks like, I mean, we can even tell at the end of reading this chapter, it looks like Jay Gatsby is going to be taking the heat for Daisy's murder. And, so let's go ahead and write that right here. Jay will take the blame. All right, and so you're not allowed to talk anymore. You read ahead. Can someone else tell me what a consequence might be to that? Yeah, obvious. Yeah, Jay will be punished for her crime. Jay will go to jail. Let's do that. Gatsby will go to jail. He might go to jail for a few other things too. Tom made some very serious accusations against him in this last chapter. So it probably will be more than just the vehicular manslaughter against Myrtle. Anyways, I'm doing this homework for you. Okay, so that would be one outcome. Can you guys think of another one? Yeah? Yeah, Daisy will always be in Gatsby's debt, right? And because she's in that debt, she might, choose him anyways. It might be the harder route for them, but maybe their love can endure. I like that. Go ahead and write that down. Daisy will be in Gatsby's debt and love him forever. How about that? Yeah, he might not return the favor. He might be kind of mad that he's in jail, but I don't know. That is another outcome of this story. And you guys did a wonderful job. I mean, just look at that. You guys did a wonderful job making predictions, making claims, backing it up with critical thinking. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this tool right here to help us with the next step. All right, so go ahead and take out your Chromebooks, and in Google Classroom, you're going to see a writing prompt. And in this writing prompt, you are to write a short letter from Jordan Baker to Nick Carraway, okay? And Jordan Baker is going to be telling Nick about the worst decision that we wrote down. And I mean, we all have different opinions here, okay? Maybe to you, I'm sorry, my cat is literally breaking in through my door right now. That's what all that clatter is. So it's going to be up to you. Jordan's going to be writing a letter to Nick, and she is going to explain how Daisy or Jay made one of these decisions and how it led to one of these outcomes, as if it's part of the story, okay? And so as you're writing this narrative, it's very important that you are writing it from the voice of Jordan Baker. You have to act a little bit here. You have to pretend like you're being Jordan. And she's going to give Nick the scoop, okay? She's a gossip queen. She's going to tell Nick everything about how, Daisy decided to run away with Gatsby, and they hope to live happily together forever, and how it led to this outcome that they're both wanted criminals and they're out on the lam. That's the kind of thing that I'm expecting you to do here. And so if you have any questions, come talk to me. The narrative writing rubric is on the assignment page, so you can get a look at that there. And very good job. I hope this helps you out with your writing, and let's go on to the next step.